everyone. I want to say before we jump into the video, thank you to FiFINE for sponsoring this video, and thank you guys so much for watching. This is going to be a user's point of view review of the FiFINE AM8 ProT. This is their newer, bigger brother or newer version or iteration of the popular AM8. And I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions from a user point of view, as well as should you pick this up over the older one. And my revelation might surprise you. This is the ProT version, meaning it comes with a microphone boom arm. I have not yet seen the microphone being sold by itself as far as the AM8 Pro. So we're just going to have to see, and let's try to figure out what makes this pro in my personal opinion. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. This is the FiFINE AM8 ProT. This is the newest hybrid USB and XLR microphone that's built for both beginners and pros. And after testing it, I'm honestly shocked on how much value FiFINE is packing into this thing. It does work both with USB and XLR, meaning you can plug straight into your PC or upgrade later into a audio interface, maybe like the SC8, like I've done a review on in the past. I'll have it linked in the video description, as well as in the playlist at the end of the video with all the other FiFINE products I have done a review on. But again, if you're ready for audio interface, it's optional for you to be able to have that. And it has real-time monitoring, onboard gain control, and tap to mute with RGB feedback, meaning you can switch through the RGB cycles as a button at the bottom of the microphone itself. As you can see right here, you have that RGB button. You do have an XLR port as well as a USB port and a headphone jack for that real-time monitoring. So it's going to be perfect for gaming and live streaming. It has a large diaphragm capsules that deliver excellent and quality, natural, full sounds for your vocals with a clean, a low end, and a crisp presence, whether you're on USB or XLR. And when it comes to these cheaper microphones, because again, handling noise and everything, you're getting awesome quality as far as from the capsule, but usually handling noise is a little bit better when you have shock mounts instead of a yoke. But that's, nitpicking in my personal opinion. So if you want to get a shock mount, maybe 3D print one, I don't know. But yeah, it makes it great for the plug and play. Again, being able to just run the super long USB cable that comes with it, because FiFINE always gives you a lot when it comes to those cables, which is really, really great. And again, at the top, you do have this big knob right here that is a little bit wobbly, but it gets the job done. Clicking it to mute feels a little mushy. It's not the best feeling thing, but again, it gets the job done. I would have liked it to be a little bit better than that, but it's good. It has a little bit of play, but it's not too bad. And this display will light up, and you can cycle through what you're going to be using as far as the mic gain, the headphone knob, or as far as like the volume for your headphones. That's just the overall build quality of the microphone. Here is the microphone boom arm that you get that comes with it. It has these little white stuff that you're seeing, these little white lines. That's for RGB, because this thing actually has built-in RGB. Towards the microphone though, you can probably barely see it, but there is a little RGB button that fills and clicks really, really well. This is something that I would really wish that would have been or this knob or wherever, because it just kind of feels hollow and the knob just doesn't feel good to click in, whereas on this it's very just tactile. It just feels good to click, and it's built in. But the thing about it is that the RGB cable, the USB cable, wherever, is built into this thing, so you can't really replace it if it goes out or anything like that. Like for some reason, yeah, if the cable just fails, you no longer just have RGB on this thing. I don't know what kind of method it would take for you to replace it. I imagine you have to open it up somehow. Don't look at me, I don't know. And like I said, you do get a considerable length of cable to plug this in to USB Type-C or USB Type-A to plug into your computer, or I would just plug it into a wall outlet or something like that that has USB Type-C plugged in. So I'm re-recording this because I didn't think that I explained my thoughts and opinions on this microphone versus the AM8, the original. And I will go ahead and say this here. If you have the AM8 original, I would not go with the Pro. I would upgrade to the Tank 6 or the Tank 1 if you want to stay with FiFINE and their microphones, because those, although they cost $100 or more, they are technically always on sale when FiFINE does sales, but they are vastly superior, the Tank series, than all their other microphones that they have. They're the top of the line premium option sleek, look professional, everything like that. And the audio quality is superb, and you don't really have to do that much EQ or whatever to clean up the sound from the microphone, maybe some background noise removal, and that's pretty much it. With these microphones, you have to EQ a little bit more, but this one is a little bit less legwork. It's still legwork, but a little bit less legwork than what you would have to do with the AM8, the original. So what I have right now is the Wave XLR with some EQ settings for my shotgun microphone, and I just plugged this microphone in. I didn't change any EQ settings, so it probably doesn't sound the best, but I just want to let you know how the audio is sounding right now. Now, with the AM8 Pro, I do think it sounds a little bit better than the original, just a little bit, just by a hair, especially in the XLR department. Now, with the USB, you don't have to get a XLR interface because Elgato's releasing Wavelink 3.0, which is going to be free, and it's just, you can download it and you can route audio and you can add VSTs to any audio chain and stuff like that, which means you can grab a USB microphone, bring it in there, add VSTs and stuff like that. So you can use it in Discord, you can use it in OBS recording in your editing software, whatever it may be. And you're going to have those VSTs remove that background noise, echo removal, EQ the microphone, all that stuff. And you never have to get an XLR interface. Even though XLR does improve the overall sound quality, you can get by just doing that, in my personal opinion, with this microphone and even the Tank 6. So that's something to keep in mind as well. I'm trying to think of anything else. The only thing I don't like about the microphone itself, the Pro version, is this knob. It's so big and it has some wiggle room when you touch it and stuff like that, and pressing it down feels a little mushy. I wish it was more tactile or just a little bit more of a click or whatever, but I kind of understand why, because you don't want that reverberating into the capsule and when you press it down. So that's understandable. The little light thing that you're seeing right here is an audio response to my audio of me talking. So that's pretty cool to display, and y'all guys can see it when I'm talking and everything. So for your live streams, voiceovers and stuff like that, if you want to show it off, that's pretty cool. But the knob is just kind of like a big in your face, kind of like you cannot like unsee it kind of thing. But if you touch the light part, it goes red. It goes red and shows that, you muted the mic. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, other than that, it's just the knob, man. I don't know. I feel like it's nitpicking, honestly, but it's just, I don't like it. It's too big, in my personal opinion. I would have liked a smaller knob. I don't feel like it needed to be that big, but it is what it is. And of course, clicking it down cycles through your microphone game for USB Type-C, your headphone, as well as your system sound versus like your headphones or wherever, pretty much what you're hearing in your microphone and all that stuff. So you have all those options there. What I will go ahead and say about the microphone boom arm is that this is the best version of the spring out system that I've seen, as far as like having the springs attached. I do not like this typically for a microphone boom arm, because usually these are very creaky and the springs get really noisy, especially if you move around the microphone boom arm or you bump into it and you can just hear like that. Just not good. And hopefully it picked up in the microphone. I don't know if it would because of the EQs that I have and the VSTs I have going, but it's not a good microphone boom arm. I wish companies would stop making these and using these, and I wish people would stop using them because they're bad. I would go with the BM88 or the BM66T, in my personal opinion. And if FiFine can throw their RGB into there, like they have here, and the color options and all that stuff, like pretty much what they did here, into those microphone boom arms, then we're going to be eating good, in my personal opinion, as far as them doing that. Other than that, matching up the RGB and having multiple selections like you had with, like, I think the A22s, their speaker systems and stuff like that. Pretty much the same kind of RGB settings. So I'm not going to go through all of them because we'll be here forever showing off the RGB on that. But there's just a lot of settings and a lot of customization here, and I love it. That's why I said if we could have it in a more robust form in those microphone boom arms, that would be great. No complaints about the microphone boom arm. Just overall, I don't like these typically. The last thing I would say, as far as like the price goes, I kind of wish it was a little bit less than what it's costing, but knowing FiFine, they always have deals and kind of say savings in some way, shape, or form. So hopefully you'll never have to pay full price for it, because I don't think it's really worth it, especially since it doesn't come with the XLR cable. That might be a deal breaker for some people, because neither does their SC8 that somebody might pick up to combo this together. You're going to have to pick up their own XLR cable or go with another company. And that's kind of the downside for the Tank 1 as well as the Tank 6. So, future editing squid here. I want to go ahead and let you guys know there is a way to do a workaround to not have a XLR cable, and that's using Elgato's Wavelength 3.0 and then dragging the AM8 Pro into the Wavelength 3.0. And again, it's beta, so there's going to be some wonkiness or wherever that they're going to have to smooth out. But you can do that and then add VSTs and plugins like I use for my microphones, doing my YouTube videos and live streams and stuff. I'll put on screen what I would recommend for this microphone and what I used earlier in the portion when I talked about using it with the Wavelink, with the Wave XLR and the Wavelink software. So again, essentially you could work around doing that and you'll have audio with the USB and not have to use a XLR cable or have to get a XLR interface as well in order to, get good audio. But I will go ahead and say that XLR audio does sound way better than the USB audio. But if you don't want to get, like I said, the cable and the interface and then have to still EQ and all that stuff, you can save a little bit of money and then use the free software from Elgato that they just released, as well as free VSTs and plugins to get good audio. And then you can use the Wavelink software to have a virtual quote unquote microphone to use to Discord, do voiceovers, or even use in OBS. And that way you mitigate how much money you're spending. Again, I know I'm sponsored by them, but I'm still going to speak my mind. And that's my piece as far as like the cons go. All right, so here is the FIFINE AM8 ProT, and as you can see, you got the microphone boom arm and the microphone right here. And like I said, I am a big fan of the screen. It's just way more responsive, way more intuitive than the AM8, as well as having the RGB looks really good. And then obviously you can cycle down through the bottom. But this microphone boom arm, like I said, is fantastic as far as the lighting and stuff goes. And like I said, in person, it looks a lot better. So that's just my thoughts and opinions on it. I just wish that it wasn't this one with the springs, because if you know what I'm saying, if you hear that in the audio and you move this around and stuff like that, the vibrations and stuff is not really good. So if you're one of those people that likes to move their microphone around, it's going to be, you know what I'm saying, you might want to set it and forget it kind of thing. But obviously this looks fantastic. I'm going to try to get my hands on the white version. I don't know if they sell this microphone boom arm by itself, but just because of the way it looks and everything, I might go ahead and pick up the white one, to be honest. And like I said, the microphone sounds really good as far as the AM8 versus the AM8 Pro. I think that this one sounds just a little bit tad better. Again, I would not upgrade the AM8 to the AM8 Pro unless you really, really want to. I would, like I said, I would save up and get the more premium option. However, if you like the way this shot looks and you don't have the AM8, I would go with the Pro T or whatever, just to symbolize both of them together. And like I said, this microphone boom arm has way more RGB options to click through wherever and to use and everything like that, because this is very similar to their speakers that I did a review on or whatever that they have, as far as like the options, as far as this like cycling through colors and stuff like that. I'm a fan of RGB, obviously. This is just fantastic. And like I said, if they could somehow incorporate this into their BM88 or the BM66T, mind blown. This is what I would use. And again, I just love the visual indicator and everything. All right, so we're hooked up with the XLR port going into the FIFINE SC8, and this is what it sounds like with the XLR. Now, I did do something a little bit interesting, and I wanted to test with this microphone if I could. You cannot see the digital screen anymore. I don't know if it's because it's not plugged up to my PC, but I did hook it up to a little brick that has this hooked up to my wall outlet or wherever, that has USB type C and A connections on it or wherever to charge stuff. So I was able to plug it in there. It's getting power enough to, do the actual RGB, but you don't have the digital indicator. And I think it's because it needs to be hooked up to a computer. So you do lose out on that, again, if you're not hooking it up to a computer and just muting the source through USB. So this is what it would look like, again, if you would do this. I know a lot of people have done this with, FIFINE microphones in the past, as far as just plugging them into a power brick or a USB slot or wherever that's like a charging dock or station or wherever, and just don't have that USB going to the computer because they don't have, the outlets to facilitate that. But like I said, this is absolutely insane to me as far as like the look of it, the sound of it, everything like that. Like I said, I would not go to this unless I'm getting the Pro version over the AM8 if I already have the AM8. But like I said, if you're looking for that jump in quality from whatever microphone that you're using, and you're still on a budget and you want that hybridness of having XLR and USB, and on top of that you don't mind the cons or wherever of the button and the microphone boom arm. Again, those are nitpicks, but those are personal gripes. It's subjective. I'm a user. I'm using it. I'm telling you what I don't like. But other than that, it's fantastic. Like, I'm just absolutely just blown away and surprised what FIFINE has on offer here and what they have been doing. So again, that's just my thoughts and opinions. Let me know yours down in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you want to help out, support the channel, you can click those affiliate links down below, or even click that member link down below, because I don't think people know that there is a member link that's always down below. So click it if you want to support me. FIFINE surprised me. I think out of the whole year, I did like the Tank 1, but I think out of the whole year of FIFINE releasing stuff and me reviewing stuff, and like even the last 2 years of theirs, the FIFINE AM8 ProT and the FIFINE Tank 6 have blown me away. They are now going to be my most recommended microphones that I would recommend. If somebody comes to my live stream and says, hey, what microphone should I use? Hey, what microphone should I get? And stuff like that. It's going to be one of those two. You know what I'm saying? For a premium, higher end budget, as well as this one. Just because of the software updates that have been out there for people to be able to get access to free stuff. So there's no question on if the microphone needs to come with software. There doesn't. There's too many free options out there. So purely on sound, aesthetic, everything, it's going to be the Tank 6 and the FIFINE AM8 ProT. Yeah, so copy yours down below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you, FIFINE, for sponsoring this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and God bless you and yours. Deuces, everybody. Much love.